In this video, we'll look at how to install pfSense on VirtualBox. In our previous video, we looked at how to set up a Netgate account and download the pfSense software. We also looked at how to extract the file and make it ready for installation. So in this video, we'll take it a step further by installing it on VirtualBox as a virtual machine. With pfSense, we'll try to create an environment that looks like this. We'll have one interface serving as the internal network, and all our virtual machines will be connected to the internal network. pfSense would also serve as a router, which would route the traffic from the internal network onto the internet. It would also serve as a firewall. Our wide area network or internet will come from our PC's internet connection. So we'll look at how we can create this environment in VirtualBox with the help of pfSense. On a typical all-in-one Netgate router, you'd have a WAN connection, and then you'd have an inbuilt switch, which is LAN 1, LAN 2, LAN 3, and LAN 4. And then that can be your internal network. So we can configure our virtual environment to achieve something like this. So the first thing you do is to launch VirtualBox, and then you choose New. You'd have to give the VirtualBox a name. So let's name it pfSense VM. The next thing to do is to choose a folder that would house the virtual machine. You may choose to leave it as the default VirtualBox VMs folder. The next step is important because we need to select the ISO installation file, which we extracted in the previous video. So we'll click on the drop-down menu, and then we'll choose Other, and then we'll navigate to the folder that houses the ISO file, and then we'll select the ISO file. The next thing to do is to choose the operating system type. So we'll click, and then we'll choose BSD. And then the subtype will be automatically populated, which is a FreeBSD. And then the version of the operating system is a 64-bit OS. In this case, we'll skip the unattended installation, and then we'll configure the hardware. For pfSense to run, you'd need a minimum of 1 GB of memory. You can use the slider to drag the amount of memory you'd want to allocate to the virtual machine, or you can type in the specific value on the right. So in this case, we'll leave it as 1 GB, and then we need at least one processor for the virtual machine to run. The final thing we would configure is the hard disk. And the hard disk, we would want to choose Create a Virtual Hard Disk Now. The next thing we'd want to configure is the type of hard disk we'd want to use. It's recommended that you choose VDI, which is the VirtualBox disk image, if you plan on just using this virtual machine on VirtualBox. But if you plan on exporting or migrating the virtual machine into other hypervisors like VMware or Hyper-V, then you may want to choose the appropriate hard disk type. To be able to migrate the virtual machine into Hyper-V or older hypervisors, you may want to choose VHD. And to be able to migrate the virtual machine onto VMware, you may choose the VMDK hard disk type. But for this demonstration, we'll choose the VDI, and we can decide whether we want to pre-allocate the full size to this hard disk. If we check this box, what would happen is it would pre-allocate all the 16 GB to the virtual machine. However, if we uncheck it, the storage allocation will be dynamic, meaning that it would only use the storage allocation as and when needed. And this would help to save some disk space. So for this demonstration, we'll leave the box unchecked. And then we can now click on Finish. One configuration we would want to check before we launch the virtual machine would be the network settings. To do this, we'll go to Settings, and then we'll choose Network on the left pane. For pfSense to have network access, you'd want to have at least one network adapter enabled. But for our demonstrations, we would want to have two interfaces, one being the wide area network, and then the second one being the local area network. So we would have to ensure that we have two adapters enabled. For the first adapter, we'll check the box and then leave it as not. We'll talk about these network configurations later, but for the second adapter, we'll also check it to enable it, and then we'll choose internal network. And this would serve as the local area network. Let's confirm that the other network adapters are not enabled. So adapter 3 is not enabled, and same for adapter 4. So we are good to go. We can now click on OK. So at this point, we'll launch the virtual machine by double-clicking on it. Once the virtual machine powers up, it would load the installation screen and we'll need to choose Accept. So with your keyboard, you choose Enter. Note that for the installation process in pfSense, you may not be able to use your mouse or cursor, so you'd have to rely solely on the keyboard. So let's click on Enter to accept. On this screen, let's choose Install pfSense and let's click on OK. It would set up the network to continue installation, so let's click on OK. And then here we have the two interfaces we enabled, so EM0 and EM1. EM0 would be the WAN interface, so let's click on OK. For the WAN interface, it has to be a DHCP assigned because this is what is coming from the router. For our internal network, that would be a static IP address. We'll talk about that later. But for now, just confirm that for the interface mode, it's set to DHCP. And then you can click on Continue to proceed with the installation. On the screen, it would ask us if we want to select a LAN interface. Because we have two network adapters, we can choose one for the LAN interface. So we'll click on Enter. And then if you notice this time, the interface mode is static. So we'll leave the configurations as default and click on Proceed with installation. On the screen, it would ask us to confirm if the interfaces are right. So EM0 for WAN, EM1 for the LAN interface. So we'll click on Continue. So you may get an error saying that you do not have an active pfSense Plus subscription. You don't need that, so you just choose Install CE. And then it would ask us the file system and partition scheme to use. We'll leave them as default, so for the file system, we'll choose the ZFS, and then for partition, we'll choose GPT. So we can click on Continue. On this screen again, you can click on Continue. And here you need to confirm the disk details, so you can click on OK. And then you might get a final warning asking if you want to proceed, so we'll click on Yes. It would now ask us the version of pfSense we want to install. So we want to install the current stable version, which is 2.8.1. So we'll click on OK. And then the installation process will start. The installation may take a while, but once it's done, you'd receive a screen that looks like this. So you can click on OK. And on this screen, it would ask you to reboot the system. There's a very important step you'd want to complete before you reboot the system. And that is unmounting the ISO file that was used in the installation process. If you fail to unmount or remove the installation file, the virtual machine will reboot and start the installation process all over again. And this would become an endless loop until you remove the installation file. This is a step that a lot of people miss. So to do that, you'd go to Devices at the top, and then you choose Optical Drives, and then you choose Remove Disk from Virtual Drive. You may get a warning that it was unable to eject the virtual optical disk, but you can proceed to force unmount. Alternatively, you can wait a bit, and when you click on Reboot, you can quickly unmount the installation file before the virtual machine fully reboots. And in that case, you wouldn't receive a warning like this. So let's probably try that. So let's cancel for now, and then let's choose Reboot. And then let's quickly go to Devices, Optical Drives, and then choose Remove Disk from Virtual Drive. Note that if you are unable to unmount the installation file in time, the virtual machine might freeze or stop, and you need to restart the virtual machine again. And to restart it, you can go to Machine and then go to Reset, and it will just restart the virtual machine again. So this is just in case the virtual machine freezes when you unmount the installation file. But once the boot up process for the pfSense virtual machine is completed, you'd have a configuration interface that looks like this. In our next video, we'll delve into each of these configurations and how to network it with other virtual machines to create a cybersecurity lab.